What's up, guys? So I just finished watching the E3 conference for Microsoft, and there were quite a few of you guys that watched it with me on the live stream. So I appreciate you guys watching that and hanging out. But to basically summarize my thoughts on this, I kind of feel like I was lied to because Phil Spencer, the top dog at Xbox, has done nothing but say it's all about the games, the games, the games, the games, the gameplay, the gameplay, the games, the games, the games, the games, and the gameplay. And he tried to shove that down our throat. And then this whole conference, we didn't get any gameplay. Like, they showed some gameplay for all these like small indie games. Like, they had a crap ton of these games that just look like mobile games. Like, you could tell me it was like a PS2 game or it was a mobile game, and I wouldn't know the difference. So I don't understand why they're trying to sell the Game Pass and including all these new games if they're just these mobile 2D platformer games. Like, no one's going to buy those. So it doesn't really make sense. But there was some stuff for Cyberpunk 2077. So Keanu Reeves is in the game, which is pretty freaking cool. I'm totally down for that. That game comes out in April of 2020. They had some Gears stuff. They announced some new modes for Gears, but they didn't have any gameplay for Gears. Like, it's hard to get excited for all these games when they show cinematic trailers. Any game can have a cinematic trailer. There are games on the freaking iTunes store, the App Store, that has these crazy cinematics. And then when you go to like actually play the game, it's just top-down game on your phone, and you sit there, and it's a game that you can point and poke, and you can play when you take shit. That's like, any game can have cool cinematics. Cool cinematics doesn't tell me anything about the game. Nothing at all. Zip. Don't show cinematics. I don't understand what companies don't understand about that. Nobody wants to see these cinematics. It doesn't tell me anything about the game. There was like 7 or 8 games that just showed cinematics, and then it like pans back out and you can like hear the crowd, and there's like these fake cheers, and because nobody's excited for that. So we didn't see much about Gears, which is kind of disappointing, but they did announce a new game mode for it, and they announced that there's going to be some more Horde, and they said it's their biggest campaign ever, so that's pretty exciting. They closed out the conference with some Halo stuff. They didn't show any freaking gameplay of Halo, which is stupid. See, I was confused because at the end of Halo 5, it doesn't match up with what they showed at this trailer, so I'm confused about that. What they did show of the Halo cinematic I thought was interesting, but there's no gameplay. I figured after an entire year had passed, we would get something along the lines for gameplay for Halo, but I guess not. There was an extra Jedi Fallen Order trailer towards the beginning of the conference, which it showed a little bit more than what we got at EA Play. There were some AT-AT walkers and stuff. Apparently you hijack one of them at one point. So that was pretty neat. And then the huge thing was that they announced their console, which is going to be coming next year. Apparently they're doing their take on the whole like cloud services and stuff. There's the Google Stadia, which is doing their whole cloud-based gaming, so this is Xbox's take. Apparently they're having a console, and you're going to be able to turn your console into a server, and you can just play anywhere you want. But that doesn't really make sense to me. At least with the Stadia, you can play like anywhere. Like, you can play in a car, in the backseat of a car. You can play at a friend's house. You can play anywhere you want. You can play at work when you're bored. I don't know. You can go from like a tablet to your phone to the TV to anywhere you want. But with the Xbox, they're making it sound like you can just play in your house based off of your Xbox server. Like, if I'm going to play in my house, I'm not going to be playing it in any other room but the room that the Xbox is in. Like, what's their approach with that? Like, am I going to go take a dump with, like, to play Xbox on the go on my phone? I don't understand what they're going for, but they're claiming this is like the most powerful console that they've made yet, and they're making some pretty bold claims saying it can go up to like 8K, which you can't even really tell the difference between 4K and 8K. Like, we're not even at 4K yet really on consoles, like good 4K, and it's not for every single game. So they're already claiming that it can go up to 8K, which is stupid, but they didn't even show what it looks like. I'm assuming they don't even have an actual console itself yet. It's just in the development stages. So we'll probably get to see what it looks like next year, next E3, because it comes out in fall 2020 and it will launch alongside with Halo. So Halo's not coming this year. Cyberpunk's coming in April. Gears is coming out in September, which there's going to be 2 betas you can play. So that's pretty cool. But overall, I was a little disappointed with this conference. I expected to see a lot of gameplay because that's what they kept talking up. They didn't show hardly any gameplay at all. They just showed the cinematics. They didn't have very many announcements of new games that are big. Like, I'm talking like Halos or Gears. They didn't have any of those. They just had nothing but announcements of these small, like, indie type games. And those aren't console sellers. Like, if you're going to compete with PlayStation and you're going to have this, like, they have Spider-Man and The Last of Us and God of War and Days Gone and, like, all these exclusive games which are console sellers. Like, I would spend, like, I've played God of War and Spider-Man. I would go out and I would spend $500 on a console just to play those 2 games. That's how good they are. You're not going to sell an Xbox with all these 2D platformer games. Like, there's one game where there's these 2 deer running around the woods, and there's another game where there's like this cartoon-looking mouse, and you run across the screen side to side. Like, that's not going to sell a $500 console, so I don't know what they're thinking. So if I was to rate this conference out of 10, I'd give it like a 6. It had some moments that I thought were cool, but overall, it was kind of a letdown, and hopefully they learn from this, and they step up their game next year. And to be honest, I was more impressed with EA Play. EA Play had way less games, but at least every game they talked about, they showed some gameplay aspects and they went into detail. And yeah, I hate to give it to EA, but I'm giving them this win over Microsoft. Like, I give credit where credit is due. I can't stand EA. I hate them with a passion, but they had the better conference this year. And yeah, so that is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you guys like this conference? Did you hate it? What do you guys think of all these games? What do you think of stuff like Cyberpunk? What do you think of Gears and Halo? And what do you think about the future console? And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or a thumbs down if you did not. Be sure to check out another video, and I will talk to you guys next time.